Hey guys, it's Cobalt here and welcome back to another video. Obviously, I am an LPS customizer. I make LPS customs all the time. My mascot is literally an LPS custom and my small business is based around LPS customizing. So I think that it should be no surprise that I also like to customize other toys and make my own figures and stuff like that. I just really love taking like 3D things and repainting them into my own creation. So because of that, for a really long time, I've wanted to do a little mini collection video showing you guys all of the clay figures and other non-LPS related customs I have done. And in a video that I made last week showing you a time-lapse of a Sylveon clay figure, I asked you guys if that was also something that you'd be interested in seeing, and a lot of you guys said yes. So this video is for you. And without further ado, let's get right on into it. Alright, so as I do with my LPS custom collection videos, I usually go from oldest thing to newest thing, so we are going to do that in this video. And the oldest things that I have are these two Five Nights at Freddy's Lego customs. Honestly, I think these are older than any LPS custom that I currently have. If you didn't already know, Five Nights at Freddy's is the entire reason why I got into LPS customizing, and I think the reason why I got good at it. The first like good custom that I ever made was a custom LPS bunny of Springtrap, and at that time I also made these Lego customs. I think I made that before the LPS custom, and they obviously go together. So I want to say these are from 2017, so they're very, very old. I'm going to start off with this one because I think I made him first. This is Foxy, and both of these are made from Lego Chima characters, or at least the heads. I think the part underneath was honestly just like a regular Lego head and Lego body, but the heads are from the wolf character from the Lego Chima stuff. I don't even know if they still make those, but then I just painted everything. Honestly, I don't really think that they are posable anymore because I think the paint would chip off because they're not sealed or anything like that. Foxy's colors are like totally wrong. I don't know why he's red and pink, and they don't stand up very well either, and their eyes are pretty messy, and you can see like how rough they are as well. And then this one was like Mangle or Funtime Foxy. I was obsessed with Foxy and all the variations of him, and I still am. They're the best characters. But yeah, these are literally the oldest toy customs that I have, so I don't think I've ever showed them to you guys before. Alright, I had to zoom out because this next one is very tall. This is a Funko Pop custom. This one was made like several years after I made these Lego guys, so I didn't do any like customizing things that weren't LPS for a while. And this guy, I don't remember what year I made him, but I want to say it was like 2019. But at Funko HQ in Everett, Washington, and the one that is in Hollywood now, they have a thing that's like a build your own pop, and now they have one where you can do people, but before they just had like monsters and stuff. So this was one of those. Before, he just used to be all green. If I have a picture of it, I'll put it on the side of the screen there of the different parts. So I built that at Funko HQ, and then a couple years after, I decided to repaint it, and I really love the way that this guy looks. There's nothing sculpted. These are just like the random parts that I selected, and then I painted it, and this guy was a lot of fun to paint. And because this was a build your own one, like there's obviously a bunch of seams in it where you choose which legs you want, you choose which body you want. So there's like this fat gap in his waist, but it's fine. I really love the way that I painted the horns as well. I think that they turned out super cool, and that's my favorite part. He is a bit dusty. Oh yeah, I was right, 2019. Good thing I put the date on the bottom. All right, next up we have some more Funko things. These are two Venomized Funko mystery minis, and I made this one first. We'll start off with him. This is anti-Venomized Thanos. He is not the best paint job in the world. Like, his details I feel are pretty messy, but you know, he is still cool looking. And the reason why I decided to make this custom is because I have like 4 doubles of this. This is the original one that you get in the blind box series, so they're blind boxes, so I have like a billion of this guy, and I decided to make an anti-venomized version, so it's basically opposite colors, and then anti-venom also has yellow eyes. And it was also partially inspired by Abernathy Customs over on Instagram. He is a Funko Pop customizer, and I love his stuff so much, and he made an anti-venomized Thanos Funko Pop, so that is sort of what inspired this, but I did make it a little bit different than his. And then for the other one, it is a repaint of the Venomized Miles Morales figure that comes in the same blind box series, and I made my symbiote Sona, who is named Envy. Here is what he looks like off to the side of the screen. This is a very recent drawing that I've done. So since making this one, I have updated his colors so that he is more neon blue. This one is very toned down blue, but I still think it looks cool. I sculpted the hair. here. It's not hair, but I don't know what it is. And I don't really like it. I feel like I could have done a much better job, and honestly, I would have like cut off all of these web patterns because that doesn't fit him, I feel like. But it still looks pretty cool, and if you recognize this character from anywhere else besides my artwork, it is because I've actually made an LPS custom of him. I definitely like the LPS custom more, but this was my figure take on him. Alright, so next up I have all of these, and I guess these are going to be a little bit out of order compared to the rest of the things, but I decided that I would show you them all now together since they're all Dungeons & Dragons minis. So I will start off with the one that I made first. This is Cobalt, the Kobold Fighter. I named him Cobalt because this was my first ever D&D character, but it's Cobalt with a K instead of Cobalt with a C, which is my LPS mascot's name. And so this guy is insanely small. Let me just show you the LPS size comparison. He's so tiny and cute. So this is the smallest thing that I have ever painted, and I love him so much. This was a Kobold D&D mini that I got in a pretty crappy set off of Amazon with just like a bunch of random minis, and so far I've only painted 2 of them, and one of them was this guy. And then from the same set from Amazon, there was this like demon guy that I just decided to paint for fun. I call this my Cheeto demon because it looks like he has Cheeto dust on his hands. But you know, this is just like a fun thing to paint. I just basically used a whole bunch of random colors, and I think he looks cool. So then we have some more interesting ones. This is from an actual D&D minis set that I bought at a gaming store. Oh crap, he's broken. Well, part of his wing broke off. Anyways, I don't know what brand this was, but this was from the Red Dragon Wormling. I don't remember if it was like the actual one or like the baby one, but this is from 2021, and it also comes with this little treasure hoard that I painted, which I really like this one. I think that like the gold and the like brown dry brush or wash that I did over it makes it like really stand out. But I also love the way that I painted the dragon, especially the fire. I am super, super proud of that. This guy was so fun to paint. I love like bringing out the details and the sculpts on these guys. They're just amazing. Such a high quality figure as well. And then finally, the most recent one, actually that's a lie, but one of the most recent ones that I did was this death dog. It came in a set of 2. I'm currently painting the other one and I'm making it gray, but this one's brown, and this guy was really fun to paint. If you know me and you've seen a lot of my other videos, I have this copper paint that I love, and I use that as some detailing accents on this guy's fur. Pretty much anytime I go to any kind of store that has a D&D mini section, I always pick out the ones that are like some kind of wolf or canine creature because they're just fun to paint and they look cool. This is from 2022, but I recently made one this year in 2023 as a gift for one of my friends and one of my dungeon masters, for my friend Michael. And I made a character of an NPC in one of our campaigns, and she is a dragonborn named Red, and she has this cool obsidian armor. I recorded this clip before I gave it to Michael, and she was a lot of fun to paint. Again, don't remember what brand of figure it was, but I believe this one was actually a lizard folk cleric, although I did end up turning her into a dragonborn paladin. And then we have this thing, which I would say is pretty different from anything else that I'm showing in this video. This is, I guess, like an art doll kind of thing. Basically, my mom gave me this goat Christmas ornament and was like, hey, you want this? And I said, sure. And then I turned it into Krampus. So here is a terrible picture of what it originally looked like, and then I turned it into this. So basically what I did, the only thing that's really like still from the original ornament is this gray cape that it has, and then the horns and the ears, but I did cut a notch into one of the ears. And then his little hooves, his hands, his tail, and his face are all sculpted with clay. And he's got some cool chains and a jingle bell, and he has this little broom that I gave him as well. And the I guess like main feature of this guy is definitely his face, which again made out of clay, and I just glued it on. The tongue, actually, fun fact, is a tongue from another one of these Miles Morales minis. And then the only other thing that I did to this guy is I took a bunch of cut up brown fake fur and just hot glued it all over this guy to give him a more furry, Krampusy look. Alright, and then we have this guy. This was the first ever 3D printed thing that I painted. This is a 3D printed Baby Yoda or Grogu. Essentially with this, you can see on the bottom, there's somebody somewhere in my neighborhood that like 3D prints little things like this and just hides them around. So sometimes when you're walking, you can find one. So that's how I found this. This is actually one of like the first ones that they hid because I didn't even like find this one hidden somewhere. I literally just found it in the gutter when I was walking home from school. So I took it and it used to be white. So then I decided to paint it and he looks pretty cute. Not the best because this one does have like a lot of pretty jagged print lines, but you know, I didn't print it. I just found it for free. So I don't don't really care. But I think that he's still cute, but there's really nothing too much to say about this guy. Now we are getting into the more interesting stuff with this guy. He is very big, so I had to zoom all the way out. And yeah, you can see like a sneak peek at what I'm going to show later in the video. But this is my Cobalt clay figure. This is really when I started getting back into making clay figures, because I tried doing it before in the past and I just never made anything that I was happy with. And then recently, it just finally clicked for me, and I feel like I finally figured out how to make clay figures, especially clay figures in my style. Like, this guy looks so stylized and really reminds me of my own traditional art, which I love, and I'm very, very happy about that. So this guy was made out of super sculpey clay, the beige kind, and then I repainted it, which is what I do with all of my clay figures. And again, he is very, very big, and I think I've actually shown this guy in a video before, but I've never really talked about him. His colors are very inaccurate to Cobalt's actual colors, as you can see, but I still think it's cool. And his anatomy is like whack as fuck. Like, his legs are so skinny and his neck is so thick and like far out, but it's fine because his face is really cute and I love him a lot. But I do actually want to show you guys something really quick while I have this figure on screen, because when I was first starting out making clay things, I was always like very, very discouraged by doing it because nothing that I ever made turned out good until now, I feel like. So I do want to show you guys sort of a comparison between something like this and the clay figures that I started out making, because I do have some that are very, 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 very old. Alright, I guess both of these kind of fit into this video, but I wasn't initially planning on showing them. They're so small compared to him. So you can see how good this looks. This is a guy that I made in, I want to say like 2019 or 2018, and his head actually moves, which is pretty cool, but that's also because it's broken. But this was one of those like dragons inspired by those cool dragons that you always see like online and stuff. Still not the best, but you know what, I'm pretty happy with it. This is made of regular sculpey clay, which sucks, by the way. Super sculpey is so much better to work with, and I know I've said that before, but trust me, it is. But anyways, this guy still looks pretty good, and you know, I still have him, which means that I still like him. But you know what else I still have? This terrible hunk of garbage. What is this? This is also made with regular sculpey clay, and it looks so bad. I think I made this guy in like 2015, and look at like that difference, guys. Like, that's crazy. And even look at this difference. Obviously this one's not painted at all, it's just made with clay, but like, come on, this just goes to show you, don't use regular sculpey clay. It's ass. Just make stuff out of beige sculpey clay and repaint it yourself, because it'll look so much better. All right, here is the next one, and all the rest of the things that I'm showing in this video are repainted clay figures. This is my Sylveon clay figure. I recently uploaded a time-lapse video of this guy. I made them back in December of 2022 as a Christmas present for my little brother, because he loves Sylveon. I've already talked about this a bit again in that customizing video, but this one is very, very cool. I'm still really happy with it. This one is pretty recent. Again, it's not like the best Sylveon anatomy, but I still think it's cute. I also don't know how this happened, but one of the ribbons is like breaking off, so I need to fix that for him. I don't know if it like fell off his shelf and snapped or something, but since I did put a wire in it, it hasn't snapped off completely. Like, it's definitely a bit loose, but because there's a wire in it, it is still attached. And here is the final piece that I want to show you guys in this video, and honestly the one that I am the most proud of. Once again, here is a little comparison size to LPS, and he is smaller than Cobalt, but I think that he looks a lot better. So this is the most recent thing that I have sculpted. I made him honestly a couple months ago. I made this guy in May of 2023, and this was also my final project for my sculpture class. And this side looks really, really cool, but here is what the other side looks like. Again, unfortunately, right here and right here, when I moved, 2 pieces of paint chipped. So I do need to fix that, because I still haven't taken photos of this guy to post on Instagram. But I love this guy a lot. He was so fun to sculpt and so fun to paint. It is a tiger, and half of it is like the musculature and the other half is this cool fur. And I also like texturized all the fur as well. So he feels so cool. Like, if I was watching this video, I would want to touch this like so bad. The only thing that I will say, I'm really, really proud of the way that it's sculpted, but it does look more like a bear than a tiger. It's supposed to be a tiger though, so good thing I had the stripes, you can tell. I think that what I would have needed to do is, because I feel like this part of it looks really nice, but I feel like the body should be longer, and I like the tail as well. I'm so happy with this gradient as well. Like, I feel like the gradient would not have turned out as well if it was a smooth surface, but like the texturing really helped with that. I don't know how anatomically correct the muscles are, but they were fun to paint nonetheless, and I think that they still look cool. He was a really fun experiment, and I definitely want to make more stuff like this in the future, and I'll just do another side-by-side comparison with the Cobalt sculpture. Different styles. This one is much more like realistic, and then this one is more cartoony, but I feel like you can still see how I've improved, especially if I show you this smoother side. Like, I feel like it's sculpted a lot better than just like this. You can see all these dents in him and stuff, but this one, it's a lot smoother on the parts that are supposed to be smooth. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video and for all the support I've been getting on my channel recently. I really appreciate it. And of course, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!